Welcome back to digital class, and today we are looking at the composition of air. Okay, so basically, in simple, you should understand that air actually consists of different type of gases. Basically means that when we breathe in the air, they actually not only have oxygen, but they also includes different types of gases. Okay, and you might thought that it's oxygen most of it is oxygen, but no, actually, 78% of it is nitrogen, and there's 21% is actually oxygen, and there's 1% consists of other gases, which includes carbon dioxide and water vapor. So basically, there's actually four things that you should kind of take note: nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. Now, first, you should understand that when we breathe in, that is kind of the percentage that we have. But when we breathe out, the amount of nitrogen that we breathe in and breathe out is actually the same. Why? Because our body doesn't need actually nitrogen. We don't need nitrogen. That's why the amount breathing in and out will be the same. Okay, again, this is important as we do some of the questions later. But the amount of oxygen that we breathe in and breathe out is different. Example, if we have breathing in 21%, uh, example, that amount of oxygen we breathe in, but when we breathe out, it will become lesser. It becomes lesser. Let me just put label here is when we breathe out. Okay, when we breathe out. When we breathe out, here will be the same, here become lesser. Okay, the amount of oxygen we breathe out will be lesser compared to the amount we breathe in. And for carbon dioxide, as you know, carbon dioxide are produced when we breathe out, okay? And carbon dioxide will become more. Will become more. Okay, means that when we breathe in, we still breathe in carbon dioxide, but when we breathe out, it will be even more. Okay. And for water vapor, the same also when we breathe out, there will be more water vapor compared to when we breathe in. Okay. So let's try to continue and try to look at some of these things. So first, as you know, oxygen is needed for respiration. Okay, and it also needed for something called decomposition. Okay, and you might not know what is decomposition, but that's fine. You'll be learning it in details in the primary six. Okay, so let's come back to respiration, which is our main topic. So oxygen is needed for respiration, and respiration basically is a process whereby cells using oxygen to break down food for energy production. Okay, basically again, it's a process where our cells inside our body using oxygen to break down food for energy production. Okay, and you'll be kind of linking it to our previous topic, which is about circulatory system of our body, where you learn about digested food, the blood, all these things. It's kind of related, or I should say, is everything is connected. Okay. Now, next thing you should know is that during vigorous activity, for example, when we exercise, when we run, our breathing rate increases. When our breathing rate increases, you know that our heart rate increases also, right? Okay. And why? What's the reason of it? Because we need more oxygen to produce more energy. So this part is actually very important, and it is actually really closely linked to our booklet 3. So let me just quickly go back to our booklet 3 where you actually learn about this. Wait, let me just quickly go through here. Yes, this part. Again, when we exercise, our body needs more energy. This causes our heart to beat faster, pump blood, containing digested food and oxygen. Again, you can see containing oxygen means that oxygen is actually needed very strongly at that moment also. Okay, and that is true. Our breathing rate, increasing our breathing rate. Okay, as you can see the word here, breathing rate. Again, everything is connected and it's important to know. Okay, and again, carbon dioxide is something that we produce when we breathe out. And again, carbon dioxide, although our body breathe in and breathe out more, but our body doesn't really need carbon dioxide at this like in normal activities. But it is very important for plants. Okay, because plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Then you might be asking, huh? Then do plants need oxygen? Of course, yes, for normal respiration, but it also needs carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Okay, so let's just quickly look at two things that's very, very important. As you can see, we're discussing about oxygen, we're discussing about mainly about carbon dioxide, because these two is actually very important topics in our lesson. So let's look at this. Tests for presence of oxygen. Another one is test for the presence of carbon dioxide. So basically, we need to kind of know what is the experiment setup that we can try to test whether there is oxygen or not. Okay, and you can see there's a testing tube, and you kind of put oxygen inside. And when oxygen is present, um, when you put the glowing splint in, what happened? It will actually light up again, or they use the word reignite. Okay, this maybe some of the keywords that you should know. Now you can see at first glowing splint is just like a bit, but when you put it inside, suddenly you like kind of like light up again. Okay, so this is something that is very important, or the way that we use to test the presence of oxygen. And how about carbon dioxide? For carbon dioxide, we use something called the lime water. Okay, lime water. And basically it's like this. Again, we put a kind of test tube. Then maybe you can just imagine you are here, you put your mouth here, okay, and you breathe out. And carbon dioxide is coming out from our when we breathe out, right? So this will go into this lime water. And you need to know that the lime water at first is always kind of colorless, it's a kind of colorless, okay? But when the presence of carbon dioxide appears in here, the lime water actually will turn what? It will turn cloudy. Usually we use the word cloudy, but some of the words they use chalky or milky. Okay, so it will turn like this. If there's no carbon dioxide, it should remain like this. But when there's carbon dioxide, it will turn cloudy. And again, that is the way that how we check whether there's carbon dioxide. Okay, so this too is something that's very, very important. Okay, so I hope that you learned something from this small little short videos, and thank you. See you. Bye bye.